Hello everybody, this is Reg from Micro Grinder making another 30 now video this time rather than a 50 now video, and that's mostly because at the time of recording there's hardly anybody in the 50 now pool, so I kind of didn't want the video to be spoiled by waiting for people to come into hands by frequently having to wait for tables to populate. So that's why we're doing that, not the 50. I do plan on continuing with the 50 series, hopefully for my next video. I'm starting to try and produce 2 shorter videos per week now, so hopefully for those of you who've been really hanging on desperately for it like it's Christmas, hopefully the next 50 now video will come soon. I am off work now for the next 7 days. I'm planning on putting a lot of time into poker, and I might just produce more than one video because I just like doing it, and why not? So without much further ado, let's stop talking about me and start getting some spots. I have started to try and play a little bit looser recently. For those who do follow me a little bit on Reddit or some other places, I am kind of a renowned nit, and I'd have no issue with that. I have no issue at all with that, but I do think I've almost kind of become a parody of myself with the fact that I'm just being too nitty. I've got nittier and nittier and nittier, and to the point where for the last 2 weeks I've lacked a little bit of motivation to play. I've been a little bit bored, and kind of almost just turned myself into like too much of a nut peddler, not taking enough chances, not being aggressive enough versus weak lines, etc. And I kind of want to get away from that, so I'm hoping for this video, not just for this video, but for my future play, that I can start to open my game up again. And that's not I don't want to become in any way laggy, but I do believe I dropped too far into the land of the nit. And now I'm hoping to get back to something anywhere around the bottom end of my range to be like 18% or to anything up to 24%. Something like that, just because poker's more fun when I play a few more hands. And I kind of got really into the nit thing when I was trying to demonstrate to weak and losing players, who are the people I primarily work with, that we can make a profit through playing super nitty at these games, and we can make a profit. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think I need to play as nitty as that to make profit. I think I need poker to be interesting, to be stimulating, and it kind of stopped being that. I kind of like, I was a victim of my own, what's the phrase I'm looking for? I almost become a self-fulfilling prophecy that I was preaching playing tight to losing players, and I started doing it more and more myself. And it was something I didn't need to do that just kind of happened to me. So hopefully I can snap out of that a little bit now, because it's been my worst month in possibly 2 or 3 years in terms of its volume, in terms of results, in terms of money made. And yeah, I need to freshen things up. So hopefully that can start right now. Here we got a good shot at what we intended to fold. And when the guy min bets 30 cents on this board, I'm presuming he's missed most of the time. I don't have enough showdown value to call. I don't have much of a problem raising here. I think I continue to turn if I hit a 9 or a 10, or maybe even a queen or an 8 or something. Well, an 8 gives us a nuts, but yeah, there's a lot of cards I can continue on. And when he just bets, just 30 cents was the key to that. Yeah, of course, he could have been min bet 3 betting, try to be clever, but generally speaking, I think that's just going to be weakness, and then someone's just going to be folding. They're just kind of checking by betting almost. I think they're just going to fold a lot. Had I had ace high or something there, I probably would have just called, because I only have 10 high. I think bluffing's way more appropriate. That wasn't quite so gapped. I'll consider peeling here against two players, but I think it's just a little bit too weak. If it was an 8-6 suited or an 8-7 suited would have been an easy call. 8-6 I think I would have played it, but a suited 8 high 3 gapper, even against two players who I expect to have a skill advantage over, them being out of position there, I think it's too much of a stretch to believe it's going to be profitable. I don't know how long this video is going to last for. The last one was just 30 minutes. It felt too short when I was making it. It felt like I barely got a chance to get into my stride before I was closing the video down. So I think this one's going to be at least 40, maybe 45. Because we haven't had anything happen yet. And if it's just a 30-minute video, we're already 6 minutes in. And I understand that people prefer shorter videos, but that said, 30 minutes, it seemed too short. Here we're just going to isolate this guy who's got the fish tag with our 10 high. I mean, of course, he's going to call with a lot of better hands. Ace highs, king highs, queen highs, etc. But overall, with position and with a very playable hand against some guys with the fish tag under the gun who's limped, I think raising's entirely appropriate. If this guy had more money, he's 7-4 years, he's got the blue tag, I would absolutely call here, but because he's the guy I'm most likely to be able to win, beat in the pot, or win a big pot from, and he has actually got enough money to win a big pot from, I think it turns a 10-8 suited just into a fold. I'm seeing a lot of this these days, people making really small raises from the small blind. Typically people doing it have a pretty wide range for doing it. I'm just going to start 3-betting them more because I think the people who are doing these small raises, it's people who are doing it because they know they face a lot of 3-bets. They're opening wide, they face a lot of 3-bets. They just kind of try to cut the losses by making the raises smaller. I see lots of people opening 60, 70, maybe even 80% from the small blind. I'm sure some clever mathematics guy somewhere has demonstrated how that's profitable by something silly like 0.005 big blinds per 100. If to open like close to 100% or 80% or whatever. And that might well be true. I mean, I'm certainly not going to question the maths on it. Do I think most players at 30 and L are capable of turning a profit opening 70% from the small blind? Probably not. If they are good enough to play such a wide range out of position and make a lot of money, they certainly won't be in these games for very long because they'll be on their way. They'll be fast tracking their way to the higher stakes games. So with that in mind, I'm just prepared to just try and exploit them by 3-betting them, by calling light, certainly not by folding too much. And yeah, that's my take on that. I'm sure there will be some players who are massively into the modern way that will not be too happy with the way of kind of dismissed opening small from the small blind back with such a wide range. I'm sure they'll probably start pissing their pants and thinking this old duffer here hasn't got a clue what he's talking about because some really clever guy says it's profitable. But that clever guy, it's every chance it is profitable. For most 30-0 players, I would venture that it probably isn't because they're going to screw up too often post flop. I'm just going through this guy's a regular. He's got a pretty wide button range. If I call, I'm going to get squeezed too often, so I'm happy just to 3-bet my hand. And these guys are just having a pleasant conversation. That's one thing I do miss about poker. The olden days, there used to be lots of chat at the tables. I think speed poker and just people's attitude to poker has changed so much online in the last 4 or 5 years. I think the social aspect's gone, which I think is also why quite a lot of the interest in the weekly ways have gone. People used to be always talking about sports at the table, talking about poker, talking about TV. People would actually use poker even if it's online, it's kind of they get some kind of social stimulation from it, even just chatting with strangers about the latest things. It just doesn't happen anymore because regulars just don't tend to know how to keep the customers happy. And the chat, unfortunately, just died. I enjoy chatting with players. Now and again, I will get shout outs from people who watch my videos. I enjoy chatting with them. When I play in regular tables, I love chatting with the weekly players. There's a very cynical side to it. I love chatting with them because I want to keep them at the table. But also, I think there's a side of just being a decent human being and just giving people what they want. You know, they come in to play poker, they want a bit of a social situation going on. Give them what they want. Just be a nice guy. It doesn't have to be. We're playing micro stakes poker. It doesn't have to be all business like. It can sometimes just be. It's not going to take that much away from my concentration if we're having the occasional conversation with a week player about a football team or about a TV show or about a song or whatever it is they want to talk about. I miss that. It's a shame. I mean, I'm clearly not going to fold here. I'd like to know a bit more about the player than this. I mean, obviously I know nothing about the guy. I've got no notes on him. He's Chinese, which doesn't really tell me much because there's some good Chinese players and some bad ones. I'm clearly not going to fold though. So there's what kind of cards am I going to continue to turn on? If I pick up a good shot, I may well call. If I pick up a king, I'm definitely going to call a turn barrel. And obviously, if I pick up a heart, am I going to call or raise? And that will depend pretty much on his sizing. Jack isn't a card I'm that keen to continue on. If he makes a large bet, I will just be folding. If he makes a medium-sized bet, that's too big, that bet. I can't do much with that bet. Had he made a smaller bet, I absolutely may have made a play. Had he bet, say, $3.12, $3.50, something like that. But as it is, he's priced me out, so I shall fold. I'm not going to semi-bluff this, even though I picked up the straight draw, because I just don't believe I'm going to get any folds. Anything that called the flop's almost certainly going to call this turn too. And if he checks the river, I may well then bluff again, just to try and get him to fold 9x. If he bets, I'm just going to give him the pot. Here we flop the nuts and the pot. I'm actually going to overbet here. Because I think if he's calling 60, I think he's probably going to call 150. I think he's going to be a check folding a lot of the time here, or check calling. Now I'm just going to hope he's got a 5. I'm going to just bet around the pot. He didn't have a 5, which is a shame, but never mind. His stocks could just jammed $12 earlier. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just make a small c-bet on the flop. Hopefully we'll get some floats, and I'm going to go for a check raise on the turn, because this might be the type of player who isn't too worried about getting stacks in. So I'm going to carry the plan now, because the 3 is actually, it might look like I'm giving up here, and this could encourage somebody to stab with 9x, bigger pocket pairs, smaller pocket pairs. So I'm definitely going to go for a check raise here. I'm not expecting to get too much credit. That's just unfortunate that the person's bet really small. I need to make this around, make it 540 calls, that's 14 in the pot. It's going to leave me around a pot size bet, just under. So we're just over a pot size bet to shove the river. And yeah, so we set this pot up quite nicely. I think the ace is quite a bad card for me to get called on, to be honest with you. I have no idea what they mean by nice try, but I'm just going to continue with our plan. I'd rather probably rather not have hit the ace, to be completely honest. I think he's going to make it harder for me to get called. And he just puts a rather charming amount of abuse into me, which is congratulations on having absolutely no class, Storks girl. I'm just going to try and induce a call by putting some kind of smiley face in, because who knows. I just gave up here against this guy. I have no idea what's just going on in that person's mind there, but it was fun. It was fun. And yes, hitting the ace is a little bit disappointing. I think it got us more folds. Well, that does show the merits, the value of paying attention. Because had I not noticed that person had just open shoved $12 from under the gun in a previous hand, I may have just gone bet there and just got some folds. At least that way, if it's someone who is a bit spewed, a bit tilty, it's a good way to try and annoy them and to get them to make some mistakes. And for those of you who subscribe to my channel or watch a lot of my videos, I'm hoping you are noticing a slight difference in my play. I'm not explaining a lot of it because obviously the c-bet with the 10 deuce there was a pure bluff. We did have a backdoor flush draw, but yeah, I'm kind of just banking on the fact that the guy didn't look like he was a particularly good player. It's not a raise I'd make against a regular too often. It certainly isn't a c-bet I'd make against a regular. I think against a weaker player, then we can get away with making some more exploitable plays. I have no idea about Becky Boo. I have no idea who Becky Boo is. They've gone for them in 3-bet. I think 4-bet getting it in is possibly a little bit spewy. So we'll try and play a flop, and on boards like this we'll try and show our hand down reasonably cheaply. If a lot of big bets start going in, like pot size bets, I will call one. But then if he pots the turn as well, I'm just going to tap out. That's my plan here, unless I hit a 10 obviously. Expect value. He's a regular. When he donks this board, I'm not really sure what's going on, to be completely honest. I don't think he's donking a 9 very often. Certainly don't think he's donking pocket 2s, which will I get much credit if I raise. So he'll know that I wouldn't have much of a raising range here. So I'm actually going to just call and try and take the pot away from him at a later point. And here, I'm just going to stick to the plan of just folding. I mean, the guy's min 3-bet, then he's gone pot. He's probably just got a monster. Yeah, I'm going to make it look like I'm going for some thin value. And that's a bet size I wouldn't make against a weaker player, but against a good player, I'm going to make it look like I've just got a pair of 8s, pair of 10s, or something like that. Something that's going for thin value. And I'm not really sure what the hell went on there. Because expected value is a player who I believe is a regular and not a terrible one. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on. He may well have just been probing with an underpair. And once I've called him, able just to shut down. That's the most likely occurrence there. But it's an unusual play. This guy is a very, very regular. He wins really well in the games. I was told the idea of 3-betting him there, but I think how we play against this guy, I just don't think he's a guy that makes too many mistakes in big pots. So he's one of the players I'm really not that keen to be getting involved with. I think King Queen will be too strong to fold clearly against his cut-off range. But I don't think 3-betting it achieves much, and I don't think there's much I can do on this board. So I just fold. I don't particularly want to go out of my way to play big pots with a hand that's whipped against a decent player. So here we are. We have second pair, backdoor not flush draw against somebody who may not be good. I'm going to make a small value bet here. We can't fold, this bet's too small, but I'm already quite nervous that we may be up against a big hand. But now I'm not nervous anymore. Here I'm going to peel just once, because we can hit an ace, we can hit a club, we can hit a 9, and I think it's too weak just to fold to 1-min raise. I'm just going to call here. Not much value doing much else. The 8 doesn't scare me at all. I don't think he's going to have a full house very often. I think his most likely hand right now is going to be pocket aces with the queen, with a hat. I don't think he's going to fold that. I'm just going to ship it in. Fold here. And if he is bet folding this turn after betting that size, he's making a pretty big mistake. Yeah, and exactly what I thought. It's kind of the only hand he could have there when he's played the hand like that. But it does feel good to be proved absolutely right. That wasn't the hardest read in the world to make. But having said that, as I say, it still does. It feels nice to absolutely nail someone's hand perfectly. So, yes, go me. If you want coaching from people who can absolutely nail hands like that, just contact me on microgrinder.com, username Reg, and send me a PM. And we can get talking. Or just send me a DM on Reddit, PM, whatever it is you call it on Reddit, and ask me there. And hopefully I can get in touch with some of you and we can start doing some work together. I'm currently working with around 18 students in my current Skype group. Some people are having more sessions than others, but it is quite an active group. It's a good group to be in. It's a lot of fun, and it's just a nice addition. It's just a nice side bonus of being coached by me, is that you get to become part of a larger pool of players that are all playing from 2-0 through maybe mostly 30-0 at the highest, I think. And yeah, it's a good thing to be part of. It's a nice side bonus of being coached by me. And whilst I'm on the subject of that, I have also changed my rates that aren't yet, at the time of making the video, been republished on the Macroganda website. I've now got a sliding scale of rates, and it's $20 per hour for 2-0 and 5-0 players, $25 an hour for 10-0 players, and $30 an hour for 25-0 players and higher. I'm doing that because when I first came into the trying to provide some coaching scenario, I did it because I thought there was a gap in the market at the lower end to provide cheap, affordable coaching for 2-0, 5-0, 10-0 players. And then my prices didn't necessarily reflect that, because $35 for an hour and 15-minute session for a 5-0 or 2-0 player still is a lot of money. So I'm kind of now, it's maybe, it kind of part of me makes me think, is it really fair to charge higher stakes players more for effectively the same service? But I mean, I think the rates I'm charging, even at the top end, still offer fantastic value for money. I'm just trying to give a little break to the lowest stakes players who are the least likely to be able to afford it. That's kind of what it is. I believe $30 an hour is still fantastic value. It's a lot cheaper than most other places you're going to find. But I think $20 an hour for 2NL players is insane value, and you really won't find anything cheaper. So if you are thinking about it, do take me up on the offer, because if it doesn't increase my workload, then not rates I'll be keeping for long. I will be returning to my old format. I'm doing it specifically to try and get myself more work from the lowest stake players. If it doesn't work, there's not really that much value in offering it. I'll just go back. I'll revert to what I'd previously been doing. I forgot I'd raised this part because I was too busy doing my little self-promotion bit. Now I'm just going to make a hopeless bluff, because what else can I do? This isn't going to work. This is just a terrible bluff, really. But I completely lost concentration during the hands, so whatever. It's not the end of the world. It did work, so go me. But yeah, that didn't play the hand at all well. I was kind of just clicking buttons all the way through it because I was too busy trying to sell myself. Ironically, I did a bad job of selling myself. I play on the hand like an absolute moron. So we are now coming to 26 minutes. I won't be stopping in 3 minutes time. It's I don't feel like I've done enough. I'm probably going to go for at least another 10 on top. I think we'll stop at 40 minutes on this one. And if you do prefer the shorter videos or the longer videos or whatever, please do. If you've got this far in the video, I would really value your feedback on the length of time, the length of the videos. It's important to me that I'm producing things that people are enjoying and getting things from. So yeah, feedback would be nice. And maybe 888 is just having a little lag. If this lag continues for another 5 or 10 seconds, I will pause the video briefly, because nobody wants to see blank screens. And yes, I will do it, because 888 looks like it maybe is just lagging out, but it's just come back in time. This does happen occasionally on 888. It's one of the downsides of playing on a site that isn't particularly well maintained in terms of improvements. But I still think it's the best option for most microstates grinders out there. And it's just part of playing here, is you've got to put up with slightly slower cash outs. No, not terribly slow, but slightly slower cash outs, and worse customer service and worse actual software. But I don't think any of that is significantly worse enough to justify going and playing on one of the tougher sites like Stars or iPoker or something like that. Awful tilt. So I'm trying to play looser this session. It feels like I'm playing slightly looser, but it also feels like the cards really aren't cooperating with me trying to achieve that. Jalby, I know you watch my videos. I know you've made contact with me recently, but I'm still going to set mine against you and hope to bink a set. Unfortunately, we've been squeezed and we're going to have to fold now. So good luck, Jalby. I hope you win that pot. Here's another subscriber up here, Joe Benito. He's getting to Shark Tank because I actually really believe he's one of the better players in these games. He seems to grind really hard. I've never seen him make any huge mistakes. Hello, Yoga. I've no idea if that's your name or not, but hello and thank you for subscribing. Please don't squeeze me. It looks like we're in another. This video may well end at 30 minutes if 888 is now having a bit of a problem with its servers, because it is going to be quite irritating and not really good for the video. This guy's donked here. We didn't get any time in tells, unfortunately, because of the lag on the site. I'm just going to fold though. There's not much good can happen to my hand. And in the previous time when I floated a regular to try and make him fold at some point later in the hand, I think that's way less likely to happen against a bad player. He can be donking King X there and just never be in my mind to fold it. Even if he just then start checking. So I'm not one for bluff raising weaker players. It's not really what I'm all about. What's our note here on KO? Barrel, big blinds, give up. I am going to go for a raise in this spot just because my hand is really weak. I do have one backdoor draw, but I think when a regular's doing it, well, he's a regular, but he's not a good regular. He's mostly just doing a pro bet. When I see those type of players with the orange tag, the semi, I can't believe I just said that. I'm not American. The semi regulars. They're making a lot of mistakes in those spots, and I think racing's absolutely fine against him there. I think he's going to go on a check call line with his Jack X most of the time. I think he's probably just probing there with some kind of pair between maybe pocket fives or whatever it was. I can't sure what the board was exactly. Just pull it back up. Yeah, pocket fives, pocket fours, pocket fives, 3 pocket eights, something like that. I expect he's going to be probing a lot there. So, yeah, we're able to really prove equity against his pocket pairs. Well, I think we're going to get him to fold them a lot, which is why I made the raise. So I'm really disappointed with the amount of really bad offsuit cards I've been getting. I think it's been an okay video, nothing too special. We've had a couple of interesting spots, but this is kind of just the nature of poker. A lot of the time, nothing much happens, and that's just the way poker is sometimes. I'm going to 3-bet against this guy and probably get it in. Because he's a short stacker. He's, for want of a better word, because I really hate the word, he's a pro short stacker. For want of a better way of putting it, he just buys in short all the time, rat holes. But he's not the tightest. I think he can definitely be folding a lot of hands there that I'm quite pleased with to fold. And I think he's going to 4-bet all his high cards. So I think I wasn't 3-betting that to fold. I was 3-betting to 5-bet it, or to call a jam if he jammed. I'm just going to lead out here. I wouldn't do this against some players, but against somebody with a green tag. Just going to do it, and then I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to hope he just looks me up with some sort of king. If he raises, I'd probably feel quite ill and fold. A mid-raise here because this guy 3-bets quite a lot. Here's our friend again. The reader do have on him right now. We haven't really spoke about poker yet. We're planning on speaking in a day or so. The reader have on now is he's a little bit too weak, tight, and a little bit too nitty. I think I can get him to fold by 3-barrel in here. Anything that isn't a set. I mean, clearly never going to fold a set, but if he's got a hand like pocket sevens, pocket nines, pocket fours, all those kind of one pair hands, I think at the moment he's playing pretty fit or forward. If he starts working with me, we'll soon knock that out of him. So if you do see this video before we chat, and I'm really sorry, but I've forgotten your name right now. I should be bringing that up, so I'm not going to. If you do see the video before we chat, I mean, no offence by what I've just said there, but it certainly is something that if you do decide to come and do some work with me, that we'll be working on. So we've got 5 more minutes to go. If you've reached this far in the video, I'm presuming that you do like what you see, what you hear, etc. So I'd just like to go ahead and remind you again, if you are particularly a lower micro 6 player who's thinking about getting coaching, please do remember that I have just adjusted my rates that are not currently showing on the Microgrinder website to $20 per hour for 2NL, 5NL players, $25 an hour for 10NL players, and $30 an hour for 25NL players plus. So please, if you have been thinking about getting a coach or doing some work with a more experienced player, please do give it a try, because these prices won't last forever if they don't increase my workload. Nice to get back to winning ways in a session after the 50 session that I didn't win on. Made me feel quite bad. No one's sent me any money yet to compensate me. It's a shame. If you have forgotten about it, just send 50 cents to Reggie Time and we'll say no more about it. We'll just overlook the fact that you forgot to send me some money to compensate me for losing. Again, I'm going to just min open here because I think there's a decent chance I'm going to get 3-bet. So I want to keep my options open by min raising. We may be able to put a small 4-bet in if I don't like someone's sizing, or we may call some small 3-bets too. And on these kind of dryish boards, especially when I block the nut flush draw, I intend to just triple barrel here against this guy. I start by going quite small. And just gradually increase my bet sizes in proportion to the pot as we get further down the streets. So they're a bet relatively small. Now I'm going to bet slightly bigger in relation to the pot. And now it's raising an interesting question of, do I actually want to bet much bigger now? Because all of a sudden I've gone from wanting to fold, my bet size would have been around $4.80 here had I been bluffing. Now I'm actually wanting a call. I think I'm actually going to make it much smaller and just try and get a crying call from a king. I don't particularly want to be raised here. I think I'm going to fold if I get raised, even though he could be blowing me for chop. I just don't think. I think he's going to have a 3 just too often here. Just trying to think. What 3s can he have? Ace-3 suited, so that's going to be either. Right, but he can only really have the ace-3 of diamonds if he's got a 3 that way. The more I think about it, the more I think this could be a call. If I'm going to be beat, I'm going to be beat by the ace-3 of diamonds quite often. 2-3. Wow. Maybe I may have to adjust my read on that guy. I thought he was a regular. He's not tagged yet. So that means I'm not convinced. But no. I mean, fair play to him. He played it well. He got absolute maximum value. But yeah, 2-3 isn't the hand I expected to have. It's one thing is for sure, my bluff would not have worked, and that's very fair to assume. Kind of want to 3-bet him here, but I don't want it to. I'm nervous. It may make me appear tilted, but I don't want to call because it's Nax guy. I do want to play a part against this guy because I'm starting to change my opinion on it. So I kind of do want to play a part against him. I don't want to get squeezed by Nax. So I kind of have to 3-bet, even though I'm not in love with the 3-bet because I don't really get many folds. I really don't want to get squeezed. So I think 3-betting is probably just better than calling there. I don't think folding's really an option if I think the player's bad. And I'm starting to think that now. It's defending a 2-3 off. That kind of does imply defending absolutely any 2-2 min open, which is too wide by anyone's imagination. So no, I will now go back and I will actually do some work on expect value, and I will try and now make a more concrete read on where I think he's at as a player, so I can tag him for future reference, because I think my read has been wrong. But we're just going to play onto our blinds now because we're at the 41-minute mark, and get on with uploading it. I would be interested in some comments on that last hand, on whether the triple, obviously try not to be result orientated. Did you like the thought of triple barreling? Did you like the bet call on the river? Bearing in mind that I did reason at the time that the only 3 you could really have would be ace-3. Clearly didn't think anyone was calling the 2-3 off before the flop or the 4-3, those type of hands. Didn't think you could have 2 kings. So I'm not at all disappointed with the way I played the hand, but I would be interested in some feedback, because calling river check raises probably isn't a way to get rich in micro stakes poker with bluff catchers. I mean, I'm going to go for an overbet bluff here because I want to try and make him fold a king, and I think if I make a normal size bet, I don't think he will. This could be, and I don't know why I just sat back in again there because I wasn't supposed to. Yeah, clearly the guy wasn't in the mood to fold a king. So the wheels are kind of coming off right at the end here, which is a little bit disappointing, but again, I'm really happy with the way I played the hand. I was doing that specifically to make him fold King X. If he's going to look my overbets up with that kind of hand, with any kind of regularity, he's going to find himself losing an awful lot of money. And what I will do when I finish making the video, I will go back and make a note on that guy, so I'm aware that he has seen me overbet bluff rivers. So then I will in future just overbet him for value and have an awful lot of fun confusing him going forward from this. But I think that's going to be just about it. Nope, we've got maybe a couple more hands. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've certainly enjoyed making it, even though in the last few minutes things didn't really go to plan. I still enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it too, and I'll catch up with you on the forums or in Skype or wherever else. And just be lucky and have a fantastic weekend.